Hey, Facebook Live.
We're live.
Hey, Insta Live.
Welcome back, everybody. We are excited to see you once again. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Today we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite topic.
Oh, yeah.
Acne.
Acne.
Nobody's favorite topic. Nobody wants to talk about acne.
But everyone deals with it.
Everybody deals with it. I think for me, it's probably one of the most annoying things ever to deal with. So
absolutely.
I'm 50, as probably a lot of you guys know, but I still get zits. It's crazy, and it doesn't make any sense to me, but it's still something that I have to deal with.
Right.
What I really feel bad though about are the people that have like the really advanced acne,
that's
cystic
tough.
acne, or just big patches of acne and then it causes scarring.
Right.
Because once you get into something like that, I mean, really what you're dealing with, it's not just a skin issue, it's an emotional issue. And so that's why I think it's so important though that we talk about it, because what you're talking about is something that affects people's confidence, it affects the way that they feel, and then if you don't feel good about yourself, then you're probably not going to accomplish everything that you want to. So
right. And by the way, this is Brian and I'm Kristen. We're from Skin Therapeutic, and we appreciate y'all tuning in.
Thanks for being here. We always forget to introduce ourselves.
We're here for you emotionally. We're here for you in this time of
a big support group.
Yes. So we're going to talk about the hard things today. We're going to talk about the tough things to deal with when it comes to acne. So let's just dive right into this.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about like causes of acne, because I think that's a good place to start. And and some of it we can control, some of it we can't. We just got to do what we can. So
I think so. So the thing I deal with is just excessive oil.
Yeah. That
more than anything, I've had oily skin all my life. I keep thinking it's going to stop, but it hasn't stopped yet. So I think that's a big reason why I still have to deal with it.
Absolutely. So I deal with congested pores and bacteria levels, and so those are all really, really tough to deal with. But they're all, acne acts differently depending on where it comes from, and then hormones, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, all you women out there, know, it's like either that time of the month or babies or pregnancy or whatever. It's like if you're in a bad mood, one will just pop up. And so it's definitely has to do with the hormones. And so we're going to talk about how to deal with each kind and what you can do to help eliminate or at least get it under control. Some things that have helped a lot of people
maintain. And so we love chemical peels here for a lot of reasons, but we have had some really great luck with acne with chemical peels.
Yes.
And if you research chemical peels just a little bit, you'll see how widely accepted that they are by estheticians, physicians, all licensed skincare clinics and places like that. And so there's a lot of history with chemical peels being effective towards both treating acne, and then also just maintaining long-term results.
Oh, yeah.
And so one of the articles that we were reading was recently in Beauty News by Birdie, and they actually talked with a plastic surgeon about different types of acne and what to do and how the skin reacts, and also talked to a celebrity esthetician, Shani Darden.
Ooh.
I know. So it's
famous.
Yeah, she's famous. It's like big time. But Dr. Doft explained that when you're working with chemical peels that you are causing injury to the skin, so that is something that you do have to be worried about, but it's much less scary
and it's controlled
than what people think about. Yeah, it's very, very controlled.
Yeah.
And none of the peels that we're going to talk about today are even designed to get way down into the dermis that causes severe injury, because you don't have to really get that deep to talk about how to treat acne. And so one of the things we're going to talk about is the strength of the chemical peel. That's one thing that you really have to know before you start a treatment for acne is how strong is that chemical peel and what makes it strong? What makes it strong, Kristen?
Something that you need to the two questions you need to ask is, what's the percentage? So if you have a 30% glycolic and a 45% glycolic, obviously the 45% is a higher percentage and it's going to be stronger. And another thing is the pH balance. That's something that people don't really generally ask when it comes to peels, is what's the pH? What are we looking at here? And the lower the pH, the stronger the solution. So you're really going to get some really good effective peels the lower the pH number is.
Yeah, and I'll just tell you from our standpoint here at Skin Therapeutic, we try to have our pH as low as possible.
Absolutely.
Because we want the peels to be the most effective. And so whatever you're treating, then whatever acid that you use, just know that we're going to try to keep the pH low. We don't put any fillers in it. All of our peels are non-buffered as well. So there's nothing in there that would prohibit the acid from working or actually anesthetize the skin. So maybe your client couldn't feel it and they wouldn't realize that how deep it was going. But the pH is really one of the most critical things.
Absolutely.
Because when you look at different lines, we talk to people all the time that say, well, I used this 30% on this client and I didn't get a good result. How does yours compare? You really can't compare peels from different lines because it's not apples to apples, especially when it comes to pH. So a 30% glycolic in one line and a 30% glycolic in another, if the pHs aren't the same, then they're not going to do the same. And so that's why it's always critical to know both of those pieces of information.
So how do chemical peels relate to acne? That's what we're talking about today. So whenever it comes to acne, whatever kind of acne you have is how you need to, there's like different ways in treating different kinds of acne. So whether it's bacterial, hormonal, or, just general oil, excess oil, or lack of cell turnover, there's a ton of things that can cause it. So we need to talk about what to do and how to treat each kind.
Yeah, so we've got our peels divided into 3 different categories. So we have superficial chemical peels, we have moderate chemical peels, and we have more advanced. So the main 2 categories that I think are great with acne are going to be the first 2, which are more superficial, and the moderate. You can treat things with the advanced ones, but you really have to build up to those. And so we're not going to spend a lot of time talking on those, but let's start with the superficial chemical peels. And so those are really going to deal with the top 2 layers of the skin and are really great for treating mild acne or acne alone. You're not going to get into any scar treatment with these. And so some of the peels that fall into this category for us are going to be like the 10% salicylic, our lower strength glycolic, and mandelic, the 30%. And so probably in the lactic and the glycolic, you're looking at 30 or 45% would fall in there.
And that's good for like blackheads, whiteheads, some, mild acne. So those are really going to be more superficial, top layers, that kind of thing. And I think with those peels you can expect, some redness, some flaking. You might have someone with sensitive skin may have some serious, some more peeling than flaking, but you're not going to see any like serious like sloughing of the skin coming off. And hey, Brandy, how you doing?
Here's Brandy.
And so that's just important to know on the front end. Those lower end peels are going to be more, mild to heavy flaking, maybe some peeling depending on the skin type, depending on the layers, that kind of thing. But that's going to be like your blackheads, your whiteheads, oil control. That's going to, be what you're dealing with there. So next step is moderate peels.
Yeah, I think one too to look for on the superficial peels when you're looking for what you should expect. Itching is probably the one thing that you may experience more than anything with that grade of peel, rather than flaking or peeling. You might see some, I've seen it on some of them, but I haven't seen it on a lot of people that get these lower strength peels. And the good thing with these is the moderate strength, they're going to heal in about 5 days. So it's not a long wait time before those are ready to go. Most people can put their makeup back on and go back to work right after they've had
lunchtime peels, if you will.
Lunchtime peels. So now let's talk about moderate.
Yes. So moderates, you're going to get into like the 55 glycolic, lactic, 20% salicylic. There's the blends. Those are like my favorite. So the glyco and lacti blend.
And the Jesner. We put the Jesner, I think, is a good one to put in there too. When you get into this one, the more moderate peels, then you can start treating mild scarring as well as acne. So this is going to be kind of, you're getting more serious about your treatments and what you want the chemical peel to do. And so that's going to be good. These can be applied every 4 weeks, where the superficial you can do every 2 to 3 weeks. But you want to allow a little bit of time between chemical peels once you jump up to the moderate side. You're even going to see some difference on hyperpigmentation as well with this. And so what I've noticed too is that as far as expectations go, that with hyperpigmentation and dark spots, they're going to turn a little bit different color. They may darken. And so I know the first time I saw that on my face, I freaked out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I thought that my face was going to scab over and and it wasn't going to heal, but all it did was pull it to the surface, and then it peeled off eventually. So I don't want anybody to be frightened when you see these kinds of things,
Right.
because usually within, I think it's a 7 to 10 day period with a moderate peel, then you're going to see some healing. But I know Kristen's had a lot of experience with our blends and some different peels, so tell them about what you've experienced.
Okay, so I dealt with cystic style acne where it just like embeds really deep and it's painful, and they don't surface very easily. And then also blackheads, just typical pimples, if you will, and just really like fluctuated depending on the time of the month, and then also what I was eating and my diet and that kind of thing. And so if I was drinking lots of water, obviously that's like one of the best things you can do for acne, but is just like flush out your system as much as possible. But lack of cell turnover was another big problem of mine, and I started out with the Mandelic peel, which is a great place to start for anybody just that's being introduced to chemical peels. I definitely think that's the place to start, so you can see how their skin's going to react and everything. But it gave me this really nice glow immediately. I had some flaking with the Mandelic just because I have super sensitive skin, and so I did have some pretty good flaking with that one. But it was like half the amount of time is what you would expect with a chemical peel. It was only like 2 or 3 days, and then the flaking was done, the sensitivity was gone, that kind of thing. So love that one. It's like I said, it's a great lunchtime peel. You're able to just get back to work or get back to your life.
I know.
The blends though, that's my absolute the Glyco blend is like my absolute favorite peel, because the glycolic carries that salicylic, it's 35% glycolic and then 7% salicylic. So that glycolic is a natural carrier acid. So it just like the salicylic piggybacked with the glycolic, and it just went really deep. At the time whenever I got this peel, I had 3 major cystic spots on my forehead, and they were just painful, y'all. They were raised. They were nowhere near the surface, not ready at all, to be extracted and stuff. And it was just an absolute terrible experience. And I also had some on my chin area and like on my upper lip and stuff that I could feel them underneath the skin. They were not going anywhere. They were not coming up to the surface. Like they were just, they were in process developing kind of thing. And after the Glyco blend peel, those pulled to the surface. I had these brown spots, like these super brown spots come up here, and my face was a little bit red all over. I had some mild swelling. I mean, very, very mild swelling. I mean, I was probably the only person who really noticed the actual swelling, because we're hyper intuitive to that. But the actual results with that peel was amazing, because it totally took care of the cystic spots I had. It completely brought all the impurities and all of the stuff that was, deep underneath the skin on my chin and my upper lip and stuff to the surface. And I've got pictures of all of these, so if you guys need my testimony or you want to see these pictures, you can definitely email me and I will send them your way, because I just think that it's a great peel when it comes to acne.
Yeah, I totally agree. We've had such good luck with both the blends and the Mandelic.
Absolutely.
Doing that. So, hey Cheryl, I see you there, and thanks for your question too. And Brandy, yes, we do have several chemical peels that are really good for hyperpigmentation. It's probably going to be some different ones that we talk about today. Some of these will be, but we do have some other ones that are specific for that that we can help you with. And then Cheryl, pretty much all of the chemical peels are going to help minimize pores.
Yes.
So when you're exfoliating like that and you're pulling those things out, then that's going to help those pores shrink. Because that's what makes them look large, is that they're clogged up. So these are all going to help with that. So the next category that we have, and some of these are going to be better for hyperpigmentation because they do have hydroquinone in them, which is great for dark spots, but they're a lot stronger. So the Ultra Jesner is one of them. There is also the glycolic and lactic, so the 70%, the higher percentages of those, and it's just more of the acid, so it's just going to be stronger and it's going to work more effectively. But you do want to be extremely careful with these because they are stronger. It's something that you have to build up to. We prefer that you have a medical director to actually apply some of these, but we have protocols for these too. But these are really, really good when you get into scarring.
Yes.
So especially with the Ultra Jesner, and even the Jesner can help too.
That resourcinol is
But yeah, the
amazing.
resourcinol is really going to help with things. These need to be applied every 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
So you got to allow a little bit more time with these before you actually start out. And I have seen, this is when I did the Ultra Jesner, that's when I had the big scab looking things on my face, and I was very concerned. But it turned out great because it just lifted a lot of hyperpigmentation off, and it peeled off. But there was some itching, there can be some swelling. You're probably going to see some peeling
And some redness, definitely.
and definitely some redness. So maybe not something you want to do right before you go back to work.
Right, you definitely want to give yourself some time for healing, with those peels, because that's definitely not a lunchtime peel. That's definitely like a end of the day, not doing much for the weekend, not being out in the sun at all kind of thing. But it's a great peel if you have mild scarring from acne.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think with this one too, I know my experience with this one is, the healing time typically is 15 to 20 days with this, and I think I was right at 18 is how many days it was from the time I got the Ultra Jesner till everything was pretty cleared up. So
Wow, that's awesome.
and I've got pictures of that too that I'm willing to share if you have a strong stomach, if you can bear it. It's not that bad, I'm just kidding. So what else?
I think we need to discuss how to pair peels with other services, because sometimes acne is a little stubborn, and sometimes we need a little bit more exfoliation to be able to penetrate the skin deeper with the peels and give the peels a chance to go, not fight against that, was it stratum corneum or whatever, and then so they can, if you dermaplane that off, and then the peel can go deeper because it's not there. It's not fighting that top layer of skin anymore. So
exactly.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, our chemical peels do work really well in conjunction with other services like microneedling or dermaplaning, microdermabrasion. We have a lot of people that even use them with the hydrofacial. I know a lot of you probably have hydrofacial machines that you use. You're going to have to evaluate that on a client-by-client basis.
Absolutely.
And really consider what their skin is, especially dealing with acne, because if you dermaplane or you microdermabrasion or things like that, you may have to go around some areas. But in a lot of cases, some people's skin is really tough.
Yes.
And so it may take a couple of chemical peels to really remove that upper layer, so the chemical peel can actually get down in there and work.
Absolutely.
And so we always recommend that do these in a series, at least 3 to 6, and then once you get the acne under control, then you can kind of go back to a maintenance basis on the chemical peels.
Right. One thing as far as maintenance is concerned is acne is not going to sleep. I mean, it does not sleep, it does not rest, it does not quit. So home regimen is super important when it comes to acne, and I do not believe that any over-the-counter product or drugstore or whatever works. I really just have no trust in them anymore, because I had it for years and was using the Neutrogena products and stuff like that were advertised to work for this acne or whatever. And first off, I didn't know what kind of acne I had, so I probably wasn't treating it right. And then the stuff that they had was either too aggressive for my skin type or too abrasive, and like the scrubs and stuff were too abrasive, or like I said, it didn't even treat the kind of acne that I had. So one thing that I love is whenever someone gets introduced to professional skincare and a good home regimen for the type of skin and the type of conditions they have, is because they see results. I just love that. So the home regimen, I just think these are kind of like the basics for home regimen when it comes to acne. Obviously, like our cleansers, the purifying is the most abrasive, but it's going to be for your like really oily skin types. And then the AHA is my absolute favorite. It has
every day.
Yes, it has glycolic and salicylic in it, so it's going to if you do use this twice a day, it's going to have it's your first defense against acne right there. And then our gentle cleanser doesn't have any acids in it, but it is it's good for just the gentle skin types if you have somebody with sensitive skin. So
or dry skin, too, because I know a lot of you guys see this too, is that it's always odd to me that you can see somebody with dry skin and they have acne. And so it's just kind of a tricky thing that you have to deal with. And so you don't want to be using a cleanser that's going to dry it out too much. And then our next step in the process, and what we recommend, are our cellular turnover treatments. And it's basically a home strength peel solution that you can leave on. It doesn't have to be neutralized, but it is, I haven't found anything better that maintains results between chemical peels, because you only have to use them 2 or 3 times a week, but it keeps that exfoliation going and that cell turnover going, so you're constantly regenerating new skin cells, so your pores are not clogging, and it's so helpful with acne.
Absolutely, and it definitely helps. Something I've said a couple times before is these cell turnovers are like brushing your teeth between dental visits, and the dental visits being the chemical peels. So like, you don't go in for an in-office treatment and then just neglect yourself between treatments, you know. So these are a great way to do the cell turnover during those in-between times between the peels. And I like it because I think they're 15% strength, is that right, on the glycolic and lactic, and then the anti-oil is lactic and salicylic, and the anti-oil is the one I always say is good for acne, because again, it's got that salicylic in it, and salicylic is our first defense, our what is it, the acid you want for acne when it comes to acne.
Salicylic acid loves oil. So it's actually going to try to find it and root it out and go after it, and so help dry up some of those things. Hey Tammy, I see you waving. Thanks for waving. Good to see you.
And then the last thing that we have, and something that I think is really good to talk about, is these are 2 very convenient products that we offer when it comes to home regimen and dealing with acne. Our Tri-X peel pads and our spot treatment. So first, our Tri-X peel pads, these are in a container. You can take these anywhere, and what's great about them is it does have the glycolic, lactic, and salicylic in it. So these are good for, they're in a pad. It has a scrubby side. And
that does not have a scrubby side.
This one doesn't, the 360.
It just has a smoothing side.
Just smoothing side, yeah. So you're going to swipe these on, but they're really good if you're dealing with acne and getting, you know, your dose of acids in a convenient way. And then the Tri-X spot treatment, y'all, this stuff works. My husband stole mine, and I want that back.
What a thief.
I know, but he loves it, and I'm okay with it, I guess. I mean, I guess. But yeah, the Tri-X spot treatment is awesome because you can put this directly on the spot that's being a nuisance, and literally overnight there's a difference in swelling, redness, how large the spot is, and everything. So I love that one.
I love these 2 products, the chemical peel pads, because they're so convenient, and they're mild enough you can use them every day. So it's very low percentages of the acids that are in them, but there are 3 in there. And then when we made the spot treatment, we bumped it up a little bit, the solution, so it's like an extra strength solution that the pad come in, and it has a roller applicator, so you can literally just pinpoint right on a blemish or something and roll a little bit on there. It doesn't take much at all. And I've even had them like before they come up, where you can feel them, and that painful bump that you know it's coming, and start putting that on there and start treating it, and it can keep it from ever coming out or shrinking a little bit. Even if they have come up, then you can still use them on those too. So it's great product.
It's great for travel size, you know, throw in your purse, use whenever you need to, kind of thing. So it's good.
It's good.
But yeah, as far as acne is concerned, these are the basics I think we need to know as far as like skincare regimen, and then what peels are good for them. And we don't want to keep y'all all day, so we're going to wrap this up. But we appreciate y'all watching, and if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to contact us. You can call us, email us, go to skintherapeutic.com, and you can contact us through our website that way. And by the way, we are in our final days of our chemical peel sale. Our Peel-a-Palooza only has 3 days left. Today, tomorrow, and Friday, and that's it. So peels are 20% off, and that includes the peel preps, which I'm a huge advocate for. I've had peels with them and without them, and I always get better results whenever we use preps.
Huge difference.
So yeah, anyway, thank you for tuning in, and thanks for joining us. If, like I said, contact us if you need anything.
Questions, Thank you guys.
Bye.
Have a good day.